Okay, Daniel, let's go a little bit fast. Don't want you to stay here a lot of time. First
Thank
of
you.
all, how are you? How are you feeling about this? I think it's just the last weeks of the VCT. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it is the last weeks. And it's a very bittersweet feeling at the moment. We've been working towards this for quite some time, and the season's been really exciting. And I think seeing fans come into the Coliseum and tune into the broadcast and enjoy the games has been really great. So we obviously have LCQ wrapping up on Sunday. So we're really excited. It's super exciting to see who are going to be the final teams from EMEA attending champions. But it's definitely a feeling of excitement to watch the games, but also sadness that the 24 season has already come and gone in what felt like the blink of an eye.
Yeah. Yesterday we had the first matches of LCQ. How are you seeing the tournament until this moment? What are your thoughts about the Koi and Heretics match?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, part of why we selected the teams we did was because we wanted to start building like national derby rivalries. So it was good to see those two games out there. Obviously, some exciting additions to the Heretics roster with Benji Fish joining. Obviously, quite a popular person in the community, a great player. And look, I'm generally pretty happy anytime it goes to anytime a best of three goes to three games or a best of five goes to five games. I consider that a win for the fans.
There were some technical problems, and there has been a long split with a lot of technical difficulties. What's Riot doing about it? What's the things that you want to improve till the next season?
Yeah, totally. I'll be completely honest with you and with everybody. The technical problems we've had and the pauses we've had this year have simply not been good enough. Um, it's very frustrating as a fan when you're tuning in to watch a sport and there's a pause that goes for 5 minutes or longer even. And that's just not good enough for us. So everyone here on the team takes this sort of thing very, very seriously. We've been making changes as we go. But what we need to do is get to the off season and then really being able to like reapproach everything and rebuild everything and make sure that when we get into next season, we don't have these sorts of issues.
Mm-hmm. Today we have the upper semifinals starring Giants. How do you see the Giants as a club? Do you think they made all you wanted them to do as a staff, as a club, and not only on the server?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we were uh, receiving the applications from the teams to join. I remember the Giants quite vividly, actually. They had some great pictures in there of the fan club they have in their home city and a lot of pictures of like fans showing up and supporting their offline watch parties. So we knew that they were the sort of club that really knew how to build fandom and put on events that their fans enjoyed. And I think they've absolutely delivered on that. I've been at the Coliseum most days, as you can imagine. And whenever the Giants are playing, there's always some Giants fans that have traveled from all across EMEA. So seeing that sort of level of passion and dedication from their fan base, that's exactly what we look for. And that's exactly what we want to see our teams being able to build.
Um, this is a thing. Some people of Spain has asked us to ask you. Why there is three teams of Spain in VCT? I think it was like a kind of surprise for us because we expected big or some German team in the VCT, but we are lucky we have three teams. Why is that?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about how we selected the teams in general. So we were looking to understand like can potential teams, are they going to build like a competitive roster? That was one of the things we looked at. Then we looked at like operationally, are they solid? Do they have the right staff? Do they have good people working there? Are they passionate? Are they knowledgeable? That sort of thing. Um, we of course wanted to understand the business health of the teams that were looking to join the league as well. And then the last thing and the most important thing was, can this team build fans, and do they have a big passionate fan base? And we kind of looked at those 4 key areas, and that was how we picked our teams. And particularly when it comes to fandom, Spanish Valorant fans, there are many, and they are loud and they are proud. And I think that's part of the reason why we have more Spanish teams than any other single nation represented.
Mm-hmm. As we said, the visit is almost ending. Did it cover your expectations for the first split or first season?
Yeah, it did. It did. Apart from the technical pauses, that definitely did not meet our expectations. But when you put that aside, we're quite happy with things. I'm really proud of the Coliseum. The venue itself is really, really great. It was important to me that we had multiple languages on site. So we had the Spanish broadcasters there most weeks. They are always the loudest commentators in the venue. Let me promise you that.
Yeah.
And we had some really exciting games. And there's a lot there that we feel really good about it, that we can build upon. It was our first year, which meant a lot of our focus went on to building. So when we think about everything we want to do for next year, we're going to be looking to make everything bigger and better than it was this year.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the future. There's something you can share with us that Riot is going to do about EMEA VCT, some change or something that doesn't have really saw this year, but we could see next year's.
Yeah, we'll be announcing all of our 2024 plans in detail a little bit later in the year. I think it's really important that we get to the end of this season and we spend a lot of time just looking back and looking at everything we did and saying, did this work? Did it not work? Was it okay, but it should have been great? And that sort of thing. So that's the process we will start after the games on Sunday. We'll get into that straight away. And yeah, I would expect that you will see some changes, and exactly what those are, we'll announce later in the year.
I have told you this. Fnatic is like the best team in the world right now. They won the Masters of Tokyo. Do you think they can beat everyone and make the champions of the 2023?
Yeah, I mean they had a pretty memorable run at lock-in. I think that game against Loud at the end, no one will ever forget that. That was amazing, and they were dominant in Japan. Let's be honest about that. So I think they've got a very strong chance, but at the same time, let's not forget they didn't win. They didn't lift the EMEA trophy. So there's a lot of great teams out there, and I think the gap between Fnatic and whoever's second best, it's pretty small. So they definitely have the potential to pick up the Champions Trophy and get the trifecta. But also there's a lot of other teams that'll be ready to take it away from them. So we'll see.
You trust maybe Navy or maybe Food or Team Liquid?
Absolutely. I think all the teams we're sending are going to be competitive for sure. And I think thinking back to our EMEA grand final, like Liquid showed that we're going to have upsets, and you never know where they're going to come from. I think it's really great to see Foot there, and having our Turkish community represented as well. I think a lot of people wouldn't have predicted that. So again, it just shows all of these teams have a lot of potential, and on any given game day, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. And just for a last question, how do you see the regional leagues in EMEA? Do you think there are some teams that can have the level to play against VCT and win?
Yeah. I think what we learned in the Ascension tournament is that there's some really strong teams there. Obviously, Apex came into the tournament favorites. They had a very dominant run. And then Gentle Mates obviously stepped up and took it all away from them. So we'll see next year once Gentle Mates enters the VCT, kind of what the gap is like. But yeah, I definitely know that when I look across the top teams we have in our Challenger leagues, there's a lot of really, really great talent there. No doubt about it.
Mhm. What what was the idea behind the fact of making that some teams could ascend to VCT? It was because in League of Legends you have the leg where you can't ascend. What was the idea, like to make it a little bit more competitive for the regional leagues or something like that?
Yeah, there was a couple of reasons behind it. I think one of them was definitely to stimulate the motivation in the challenger leagues for sure. But also I think it's going to be quite exciting to have new teams joining the VCT, because they'll just completely change the dynamic. So next year we'll now have 3 teams from France as well. How are they going to go? Nobody knows. It's kind of interesting to look forward to and to think about. So when you kind of have new teams coming into the league, it just kind of keeps things a bit more dynamic and yeah, changing.